Listen carefully. Not everyone wants to see you win. And the sooner you accept that, the stronger you become. Some people don't hate you. They hate the reflection of their own laziness when they see you grinding. They hate the reminder of their excuses when they watch you showing up every single day. They smile to your face, but secretly they're hoping you fall. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your success exposes their comfort zone. Don't be naive. They'll tell you, be realistic. They'll say, you've changed. But what they really mean is, you didn't stay small like them. Most people are scared of discipline. They're scared of sacrifice. They're scared of you because you chose the path of discomfort, the path of growth, the path of greatness. And every time you take a step forward, they're reminded that they stayed in place. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them project their fears. Your job is not to prove them wrong. Your job is to win. Move in silence. Plan in silence. Work in silence. Let your results speak for you. When you start leveling up, your circle will start to shift. Some will celebrate you, some will envy you. Learn to tell the difference. Cut what needs to be cut. Your future is more important than fake loyalty. This world doesn't hand success to the most liked. It hands it to the most focused, the most consistent, the most relentless. Stay dangerous. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. Not everyone wants to see you win, but that's exactly why you must. Envy is real. Accept it. Not everyone claps when you win. Not everyone smiles because they're happy. Some smile to hide the bitterness that's burning inside them. Some shake your hand while secretly hoping your next step is the one that makes you fall flat. That's not paranoia. That's reality. The world is full of people who don't hate you for what you've done wrong. They hate you for what you're doing right. You don't need to be arrogant. You don't need to be flashy. All you have to do is try, and it bothers them. All you have to do is believe, and it offends them. All you have to do is dream bigger than they ever dared, and suddenly you're a target. Not because you hurt them, not because you lied, but because your ambition made them look in the mirror and see everything they're not. Your confidence is a threat. Your grind is a spotlight. Your results are a mirror they can't avoid. And when people aren't ready to face their own reflection, they'd rather shatter the mirror than face the truth. They'd rather see you fall than rise, because your rise means one thing: they stayed the same. You have to understand this early if you plan to go anywhere worth going. Not everyone wants you to lose, but very few want you to win more than them, and some don't want you to win at all. That's the truth you won't hear in motivational speeches and support groups. That's the dark side of progress, the shadows that come with success. Some people are addicted to drama, to gossip, to seeing others fail, because it keeps their own story alive, because it feeds their own excuses. As long as you don't make it, they don't have to look at why they didn't. As long as you stay small, they feel safe in their own mediocrity. But when you start building, when you start breaking patterns, when you stop showing up to the same circles with the same weak energy, when your name starts coming up in rooms you've never entered, when people are quoting your moves and watching your progress, that's when the envy shows its face. You'll feel the shift. They'll distance themselves. They'll say you're acting different. They'll say you're full of yourself. They'll make up reasons to stop supporting you, to pull back, to criticize. That's not a coincidence. That's envy, dressing itself up as concern. That's jealousy, pretending to care. So what do? You accept it. You don't beg for support. You don't water yourself down. You don't play small to keep them comfortable. You stop explaining yourself. You stop looking for understanding from people who don't even understand themselves. You stop apologizing for doing what they won't. This isn't about being cold. It's about being clear. This is about protecting your path. Because if you spend your energy trying to prove yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, you lose. If you stop and argue with every critic, you delay your progress. If you try to convert every doubter, you end up doubting yourself. Focus is your shield. Discipline is your sword. Silence is your strategy. Keep showing up. Keep moving forward. Keep doing the work. And when the noise gets louder, get quieter. Let the scoreboard do the talking. Let the growth speak. Let the impact echo. Every minute you spend trying to convince someone who doesn't want to see you win is a minute you could have spent sharpening your edge, building your craft, expanding your vision, creating something undeniable. You don't need validation from people who wouldn't clap even if you gave them front row seats. You don't need cheerleaders. You need a mission. You need fire in your gut. You need clarity so sharp it cuts through the noise. You need standards so high the envious can't reach you even if they tried. They don't want to see you win? Good. Give them a show they can't forget. Win so loud they have no choice but to watch in silence. Become so consistent their opinions become irrelevant. Build so strong they realize they never had the power to stop you. They never did. The only one who could stop you was you. And that version of you, the one who doubts, the one who fears rejection, the one who keeps looking around for approval, leave that version behind. Because the one who wins, the one who breaks cycles, the one who rewrites the story, that version doesn't beg. That version builds. Let them envy, let them whisper, let them doubt. You've got things to build. Most people aren't giving advice, they're giving confessions. When someone says, you can't do that, what they really mean is, I couldn't do that. When they say that's impossible, they're speaking from their own limitations, not yours. When they tell you to be realistic, they're handing you the weight of their failure, hoping you'll carry it so they don't have to. Understand this early. Most people aren't bad. They're just beaten. Beaten by time, by fear, by comfort, by regret. They tried once, maybe twice, and when it didn't go their way, they buried the dream and picked up a script that tells them why it didn't work, why it's safer not to try again, why no one else will make it either. Then they hand that script to you like it's truth. It's not truth. It's trauma disguised as advice. They say you're too young, or too old, or too late, or too different, or too ambitious. They say the market is saturated, the world is unfair, the odds are low, the timing is wrong. They package their fear as wisdom and expect you to thank them for their insight. But insight built on insecurity is nothing but noise. Their voice is not your truth. Their doubts are not your destiny. Their limits are not your prison. If you listen to the broken, you'll build a broken life. If you follow the fearful, you'll inherit a fear-based legacy. And if you take direction from those who never left the starting line, don't be shocked when you end up stuck in the same place. You want to build something rare? You want to climb beyond average? Then you have to become deaf to doubt and blind to approval. The minute you seek comfort in their validation, you'll start shrinking to fit their vision. And their vision, it was never designed to see past survival. They never saw what you see. They never felt what you feel. That fire inside you, that restless energy, that obsession with more, it doesn't come from them. It comes from a deeper place. A place they chose to ignore, a place they shut down, a place you were built to protect. You weren't built to fit in. You weren't built to be understood. You were built to stretch the limits, to challenge the standard, to rise even when no one believes, especially when no one believes. Because belief isn't required for the mission to work, commitment is. Let them project. Let them speak from their ceilings. Let them build fences around possibilities and call them facts. That's their world, not yours. And you do not owe anyone the comfort of staying small. You owe yourself the truth. The real truth. The truth that says you're capable of more. The truth that says the limits you've been handed are not laws, they're suggestions. And you don't have to accept them. Most people spend their entire lives passing down chains they never had the courage to break. You want to be different? Then break them. Shatter every assumption. Rip up the old script and write a new one that doesn't end in compromise or regret, one that scares people, one that challenges everyone who reads it to rise or run. And when they start doubting you, and they will, don't explain, don't defend, don't justify your vision to those who chose not to have one. Just build, just move, just act. Let your success confuse them. Let your consistency annoy them. Let your strength expose their weakness. This is war, not with them, but with the voices they left behind. The voices that say, play it safe, stay in your lane, don't stand out, don't dream too big, don't move too fast. Kill those voices with results. Crush them with progress. Destroy them with purpose. And when the time comes, when you look back and realize how far you've come, you'll see it clear. You'll see that none of the limits were ever real. Just mirrors reflecting the fear of people who stopped before they even started. You didn't stop, you didn't settle, you didn't fold under their weight, you carried the fire, you became the proof, you chose the harder path. And because of that, you'll see things they never saw. You'll reach places they never believed existed. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them project. You're not here to repeat their story. You're here to rewrite it. Your success doesn't just change your life, it disrupts theirs. You think people distance themselves when you fail? Watch what happens when you win. Watch how they get quiet when your name comes up. Watch how they stop clapping when your progress won't slow down. Watch how support turns to silence when your discipline starts exposing their excuses. It's not jealousy in the obvious way. It's deeper than that. It's not envy of the car you drive, the house you build, the business you grow. It's what those things represent. You became living proof that it's possible. And that makes them uncomfortable. Because if you could do it, then they could have too. If you made it out, they're still in by choice. If you broke the cycle, they're still repeating it. And that truth hits harder than any insult ever could. Your elevation forces them to face the fact that they stopped moving. You became the exception that destroyed their excuses. And now every time they see your progress, they see everything they never became. Don't get it twisted. It's not personal. It's psychological. Their comfort was built on the idea that no one really makes it. Their identity is rooted in believing the system is too hard, the game is rigged, success is for the lucky, and you proved them wrong without even trying to. You didn't set out to offend them. You just refuse to live like them. You refuse to stay average, and in doing so, you expose the lie they've been living under. That's why they start pulling back. That's why the energy shifts. That's why the support gets quieter the more consistent you become. You're not their friend anymore. You're a reminder. A reminder of what they could have done if they had gotten serious. A reminder of the time they wasted, the chances they passed on, the version of themselves they never had the courage to meet. You didn't betray them. You outgrew them. And some people can't handle that. Some people don't want evolution. They want validation. They want to stay in the same place and be told it's okay. They want to stay safe and call it wisdom. They want to live behind walls and call it peace. Your results threaten all of that. You get focused. They get defensive. You get disciplined, they get distant. You set goals, they start joking. You talk vision, they change the subject. That's not coincidence, that's resistance. You're climbing, and their comfort zone doesn't like altitude. This is the test no one warns you about. The loneliness at the top doesn't come from the lack of people. It comes from the realization that most people only like the version of you that made them feel good about staying the same. The moment you started stretching, they started shrinking. The moment you took the leap, they started pulling back. Not because you hurt them, but because your life is proving what's possible, and possibility is the most uncomfortable thing to someone who stopped believing. You can't shrink to fit their comfort. You can't slow down to make them feel safe. You can't apologize for doing the work they wouldn't. You didn't come this far to start dimming your light to make average people feel warm. You didn't break yourself for years just to turn around and get small again for the sake of fitting in. Their comfort is not your problem. Your results will continue to confront their complacency. Let it. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. The truth is, if your growth doesn't rattle a few cages, you're probably not growing enough. If your results don't raise some eyebrows, you're probably still playing it safe. And if your name doesn't come up in a few uncomfortable conversations, then you haven't even scratched the surface. This is what happens when you get serious. When you stop talking and start executing. When your habits change, when your priorities shift, when you start missing parties and skipping distractions and waking up early and training late, they don't know how to digest that. Because they still see you as who you were, and you're too busy becoming who you're meant to be. Let them stare, let them talk, let them twist your progress into arrogance, your focus into obsession, your purpose into pride. That's their lens, not your reality. You don't owe them comfort. You owe them truth. And the truth is, they could have done it too, but they didn't. And you did. So keep doing it. Silence is a weapon most people are too loud to understand. In a world addicted to attention, noise is cheap. Everybody's broadcasting. Everybody's talking about what they're going to do, what they plan to build, what they might become. But nothing is more dangerous than the one who says nothing and still shows up. Nothing shakes people deeper than quiet progress. The loudest in the room are rarely the most focused. They confuse motion with movement. They post every step, announce every idea, flash every win not to document but to be seen. Not to grow, but to be praised. They chase applause instead of impact, and in doing so, they lose the only advantage that matters, the element of surprise. You want to build something unstoppable? Then stop explaining, stop forecasting, stop telling people where you're headed and how fast you're going to get there. Stop feeding strangers updates while starving your mission of energy. Real power doesn't need an audience, it needs execution. Not everyone wants to see you win up 11. When you move in silence, you become untouchable. They can't attack what they can't predict. They can't sabotage what they don't see coming. They can't distract what they don't know exists. While they're busy watching each other, you're creating distance. While they're arguing, you're adapting. While they're performing, you're positioning. Every step you take quietly compounds. Every hour you put in privately stacks. You build momentum that can't be traced. You develop mastery that can't be rushed. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. When you don't speak, they fill in the blanks, and the uncertainty alone makes them nervous. They can't read you. They can't label you. They can't figure you out. And in a world where everyone is begging to be understood, the one who moves in mystery becomes a storm no one sees until it's already overhead. Every time you talk about your goals, your brain gets a dopamine hit like you've already accomplished something. That's the trap. You announce it, you get praise for it, and then you start losing urgency. You start mistaking talk for action. You confuse reaction for results. That's not strategy. That's self-sabotage, dressed up as transparency. The most dangerous ones, they let their results talk. They let their performance speak. They don't argue. They don't post paragraphs explaining their moves. They don't chase validation from crowds who don't even understand the game they're playing. They just deliver, over and over, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. And when it's time, when the work is undeniable, when the proof is in place, when the structure is too solid to shake, that's when they let it speak, not through words, but through presence, through outcome, through undeniable success. And by then, the ones who were busy watching others have no idea how far behind they've fallen. Silence forces you to look inward. It makes you listen to your own voice instead of seeking confirmation from the outside. You get clearer, sharper. You stop performing and start building. You stop chasing attention and start commanding respect, not with noise, but with results. You want to be respected? Stop talking and start producing. Let the world wonder, let them assume, let them question what you're up to, let them doubt. That's good. Because when doubt surrounds you and you stay focused anyway, you earn a level of respect that noise could never buy. There's no need to clap for yourself every time you take a step. No need to announce every move. Your elevation doesn't require explanation. If the work is real, the results will speak in every language. They'll speak in wins, they'll speak in legacy, they'll speak in presence, and by then it's too late for them to catch up. Your silence gives you leverage. Your silence gives you room to adapt, room to fail in private, room to pivot without pressure, room to become dangerous without broadcasting your evolution. And when the noise gets loud around you, when the world is spinning with distractions, opinions, and trends, your silence becomes a sanctuary that keeps your mission intact. Let others waste time proving who they are. You spend yours becoming it. Let others seek likes. You seek legacy. Let others talk. You build. Let others react. You prepare. Because the one who moves quietly doesn't move slow. They move with intention. They move with clarity. They move without warning. And by the time the world realizes what you've built, it's already too late to stop it. Pressure doesn't just test you, it tests everyone around you. When you decide to elevate, your circle gets exposed. Not everyone can breathe at the level you're going. Some will start gasping the moment you rise. Some will smile to your face and starve your ambition behind your back. They'll say, proud of you, with hollow eyes. They'll say, go for it, while secretly hoping you fall just enough to stay reachable. The truth is, your progress forces a mirror on everyone close to you. Your drive forces them to face their delay. Your focus highlights their distraction. Your consistency makes their comfort look weak. They won't say it directly. They'll mask it with sarcasm, with passive comments, with jokes that don't feel like jokes. That's not support. That's friction. And friction reveals the fault lines. You learn that loyalty sounds loud until it's time to level up. You learn that people love your potential more than your power, because as long as you were dreaming, you were relatable. As long as you were struggling, you were safe. But when the traction starts, when the wind starts showing, when your name starts traveling, that's when the energy changes. Some of your closest ones will start pulling back. Not because you changed, but because you didn't stay where they left you. You started demanding more. You stopped wasting time. You cut the distractions. You started saying no without apology. And to them, that feels like betrayal. But it's not betrayal, it's alignment. You're not becoming better than them. You're becoming better for you. But not everyone sees it that way. Some were only comfortable when you were unsure, insecure, incomplete. The moment you start solidifying your identity, they feel threatened. Not because you're hurting them, but because your clarity reveals their confusion. This is where most people break, right here. Not from the pressure of the dream, but from the isolation that comes with protecting it. They start shrinking to keep the circle intact. They start dimming to keep others comfortable. They trade growth for connection and convince themselves it's loyalty. That's not loyalty. That's sabotage disguised as friendship. If your circle can't handle your elevation, it's not a circle, it's a cage. And the longer you stay in it, the more you'll start doubting the weight of your own wings. You don't rise by asking permission. You rise by choosing truth over tradition. And sometimes that means walking away from familiar faces with unfamiliar hearts. Test them. Watch how they respond when you set boundaries. Watch who shows up when there's no spotlight, no benefit, no attention. Watch who claps when no one's watching. Watch who disappears when you stop needing saving. That's the truth of your circle, not in what they say, but in what they do when you no longer serve their comfort. You'll outgrow people. That's part of the process. But the real pain comes when you realize some of them were never really with you. They were with the version of you that kept them from confronting themselves. And when that version dies, so does their attachment. Let them go. Your vision is too big for dead weight. Your goals are too sharp for dull minds. Your future is too bright for shaded loyalty. You need people who don't flinch when you speak in absolutes. People who push you, not pacify you. People who challenge your excuses, not cheer them on. That's a real circle, one built on alignment, not attachment, one rooted in growth, not history. Time will show you who's real, not at the start, but in the stretch. When it gets hard, when the silence gets loud, when you're winning without needing them. That's when their real heart shows. And that's when you make decisions that protect your mission, not your memories. You're not here to babysit comfort. You're not here to drag people who don't want to move. You're here to build, to grow, to become. If your circle doesn't sharpen you, it weakens you. If it doesn't stretch you, it's stopping you. If it doesn't feel like alignment, it's an anchor. Let the test come. Let the tension rise. Let the weak ties snap under pressure. You need that. You need to see what's real, who's solid, and who's just passing time on your journey. Because when it all gets quiet, when it's just you and the work, the only voices that matter are the ones still pushing you forward, not the ones holding you back with fake smiles and tired loyalty. Your circle will be tested. Let it. Distraction is the assassin of every dream. You don't lose because you're not talented. You don't fail because you don't have potential. You fall short because you let too many things pull at you, too many tabs open, too many voices in your head. Too many yeses to things that have nothing to do with where you're going. Success doesn't come to the most gifted, it comes to the most locked in. Ruthless focus means elimination, not balance, not multitasking, not dipping into every lane hoping one works. It means killing comfort. It means cutting out anything and anyone that doesn't push you forward. If it doesn't grow you, it goes. If it doesn't align, it's a liability. You don't need more plans. You need less noise. Less talking, less scrolling, less explaining. Your vision isn't up for discussion. It's a contract you signed with yourself. Ruthless focus means you stop looking for motivation. You build habits so sharp they don't need to feel good to be executed. Discipline is louder than emotion. Consistency is louder than hype. You don't move based on mood. You move based on mission. You don't chase excitement. You build systems. You don't wait to feel ready. You act like it's already done. Because every second you hesitate, someone else is getting ahead. The world is full of average, full of busy people who never get anything done. They mistake motion for movement. They think being overwhelmed means they're grinding. But grinding isn't chaos, it's precision. It's control. It's knowing exactly what matters and burning everything else to the ground. Ruthless focus means you stop giving people access to your energy just because they expect it. You stop apologizing for being unavailable. You stop explaining why you disappeared. They'll call you distant. They'll say you've changed. Let them. They weren't building anything. You are. This isn't a group project. It's your life, your legacy, your name on the line, not theirs. Discipline is lonely. Not everyone is meant to understand your process. You'll miss calls, you'll skip outings, you'll ghost the noise. That's not selfish, that's necessary. You're not avoiding people. You're avoiding distractions disguised as people. If your circle doesn't get that, they were never with you to begin with. This game rewards clarity. You can't hit a target, you keep changing. You can't build momentum with a scattered mind. You can't become great while chasing everything. You choose. You commit. You sacrifice. And when it gets boring, when it gets quiet, when it gets hard, you lean in harder. That's where the gap is built. That's where most people break. That's where you become dangerous. Ruthless focus doesn't mean intensity once in a while. It means standards, daily. It means showing up when no one's clapping. It means doing the reps when it's not fun. It means putting your phone on airplane mode while everyone else scrolls their future away. It means locking in until you forget what distraction even feels like. People will try to pull you back. Not always out of hate, sometimes out of habit. They don't get it. They don't see what you see. That's fine. They weren't given your vision for a reason. Your job isn't to convince them. Your job is to stay locked in long enough to make it real. You don't owe them updates. You owe them results. And those only come from the hours no one sees. The choices you make when no one's watching. The obsession they'll never understand. Ruthless focus is a lifestyle. It bleeds into your diet, your sleep, your schedule, your surroundings. You don't rise by accident, you rise by subtraction. Less wasted time, less wasted words, less wasted motion. You simplify everything until only the necessary remains, then you attack it with everything you've got. You don't coast to success. You don't stumble into greatness. You don't dabble your way to domination. You lock in. You say no. You narrow your vision so tight that nothing else even exists. You don't wait for perfect timing. You make the time you have perfect. Every goal you've ever dreamed of is still possible, but not if your focus is negotiable. Not if your priorities shift with every distraction. Not if you keep playing small so people don't feel left behind. Let them stay where they are. You're building something different, and that requires something different. Ruthless focus. Every day. No excuses. No compromise. No mercy. Let them doubt you. Let them whisper. Let them question why you disappeared, why you're different, why you're no longer available for their drama, their distractions, their small games. You don't owe them answers. You owe yourself the results. You don't need their approval, you need execution. Every second they spend watching you, questioning you, trying to pull you back, you spend building, sharpening, moving in silence, moving with intent, moving like the outcome is non-negotiable. Because it is. You're not here to make them comfortable. You're here to make history, so let them talk, let them watch. And when it's time, when everything you've built is too loud to ignore, don't say a word. Let your work finish the conversation.